good evening, good afternoon, wherever you may be. Good to
Jagged
see you here.
rocks and rivers of fire.
Yeah,
Here I found
blood.
the greatest of all bloodthirsters.
It's up for us now. Kind of watch this
Bones
together.
of all that walked or crawled littered his lair. Skarbrand, raging gun. I had but a moment to make my case. The time it took to sharpen his murderous blades. The demon had spent millennia harvesting skulls to earn the forgiveness of his master, the Chaos God, Khorne. The skull of Ursun would gain his favor.
What do you know of Khorne's favor?
Nothing, mighty Skarbrand. I am but a servant, ready to aid
Oh no,
your slaughter.
Skarbrand.
I
think
can
everybody knows
smell
more
the
than you.
magic on you, seer. I'll take your skull.
Why take mine when you can have the skull of a god? Let me guide you through the maelstrom to where Belagor imprisons the bear. Take his skull. All I want is a drop of Ursun's blood.
Keep your skull. Give me the bear.
It's so hard to
One
believe that
skull
Skarbrand actually would
for the
talk to
throne.
somebody.
The rest are mine to collect.
Gotta have some basis for the story. I think the story stuff of this, the narrative, is like absolutely beautiful. I think they really took the concept that they wanted to do with Three Kingdoms and really hit it out of the park with this.
A worthy trophy for the
And,
skull's
I mean, anybody with half a fucking brain knows that they didn't quite make the implementation of the mechanics and how the player interacts with them all great. That's really where their downfall lies.
Yours is next.
And bugs are bugs, unfortunately.
At once, mighty
Asking for a
Reaper.
perfect
The
game,
whole region is awash with
yeah,
heads
you'd
that
have to
will
return
easily
to
be
simple,
parted
simple
from their
concepts
necks.
like Nintendo graphics and shit.
Here
a very, very
is your
simple
first
mindset.
prey. A mortal
Programming's
eye
not easy,
wishing
so
to catch the gaze
no
of
game's
the
really
blood
gonna ever
god.
release perfectly.
Instead,
But I still
they
think this game is
draw
fine.
your attention.
And like I had alluded to earlier with the shitting the
Slaughter
bed
the
of
mortal
Kislev, I
insects
think
that
something,
infest
just play
this
something
region,
broken. I don't really know
and
how to play
claim
Skarbrand, to be
Bloodfire
honest with you.
Falls as your
I just
own.
understand him by watching other people and sort of like this. I've played very little of
Further
him, and just kind of
afield,
feels like,
you'll
oh,
find
this
plenty
is
more
overpowered as hell,
enemies
and I love
to
it.
rip asunder. The forces of hated
It's kind of that
Spanish
thing with like the
power
multiplayer
with the
patching. It's just
monolith.
like, I mean,
Or
whatever, I
perhaps
guess. If that's what they think
seek
they
out
need to
more
do.
of Khorne's
I don't like having to play
disciples.
somebody else's game in my game. That's the way I
Not
look
to
at it.
ally with, of course, but to kill.
The concept of
Lord
multiplayer
Father
battles, stuff like
cares
that,
not
just doesn't
from
appeal to me.
where the blood
Because I know I'd be very
flows.
terrible at it. I wouldn't have fun. It would just be a
In the
negative
south,
experience for
you
me.
may encounter greenskins.
But I'm
Then
being
there are the
forced
Norse,
to
mortals
basically
who will
take the
worship
brunt of
you
somebody
if
else's
you
game,
let
is the way
them,
I feel with the patching.
or
With
introduce
some of
them
the
to your
nerfs of
twin
units.
axes.
When it comes to the concept of single player having
If
stupid
you
broken shit,
continue
that's
your
like
trail of
Warhammer.
destruction south,
That's just
to
Warhammer.
even
It's like,
richer lands
that's
shall
40k,
be
that's what
reached.
little I know of Age of
The
Sigmar.
fragile
It's just
souls
over the
of
top,
Kislev
silly
and
crap.
the
It is also
Empire
fantasy. It's
will
just over the
fuel
top,
your
silly
rise
bullshit.
to ultimate power. Only the
It's like the age-old
spineless
question: if you're playing a
occupy such
single-player game, who
settlements.
gives a damn if you cheat? It's
Followers
your
of
game.
Khorne bring slaughter, raising
I mean, I understand that I'm putting this stuff on YouTube, and there's a
but
certain professional
blood-stained ruins.
attitude towards it, but
The
I prefer
more
to be
skulls you
entertaining, not
take,
just the person who
the
beats the shit
easier
out of the
it will
game all the
be to
time.
enter the realm of chaos
That
and
doesn't
seek
always
the
add
dying
an
God.
educational
So,
and entertaining appeal
let the
to me.
blood harvest begin.
So we're essentially walking into this blind. I don't really know what to do a whole lot. I just know that he's broken. I know that killing people gives you shit tons of movement range, so I suppose we'll kind of go through this together. Yeah, so after he blows something up, he gains more movement range. And movement range is kind of, honestly, what helps, it makes or breaks total war this genre. Yeah, after he wins a battle, he gains more movement, which by fighting a settlement is a battle. So his recruitment costs, so he doesn't really, this is essentially to help you maintain momentum. Everything about him screams build momentum and keep it, which was pretty similar to Torox in Warhammer 2. You basically screwed up as soon as you ran out of momentum. This does like attrition, right?
Very well.
Right. Does this give me the ability to hit people? Gives you skulls.
Popcorn.
Okay, what does this do? This is the summon thing, right? Right, here's an extra 25% after engaging the skull throne thing. And then in the tech, there was... So that's helpful. Yeah, that one's probably the first one you want to go for. That's not that great. That helps finances, but it's not that big of a deal. Right, fuck diplomacy, kill stuff, I get it. Grants the Blood Feaster's banner to your faction, which gives regeneration for a unit in melee. So that's one way to take like somebody like Skarbrand and really give him the one versus everybody potential, because he just heals in battle without getting his own stuff. Income from raiding, that's nope, I don't do that. Post battle loot is helpful. So 1, 2, maybe 3. I need 3. Okay. Sword is the most essential things. Money, movement, probably that. To some degree, we need to own something. You can't just completely scorched earth the entirety of the map. Income from buildings. If I remember correctly, he has a pretty similar Skaven economy, except his tax is pretty terrible. So that's essential. Being able to drop an elite greatsword infantry on top of somebody, that's helpful. I don't know if I'll ever get there. By the time I get to Nakar, I would assume I'll have him dead by then. Flashhounds and Warhounds get a bonus versus large. That's actually really big when you get a flat piece like that. It's like something like the bonus versus large is like 14, so plus 15% is like 1.3 or something like that. So basically you have 15 bonus versus large from a plus 15%. I'm gonna make sure I alleviate that. So flat is great. Spawns, I don't really care about them. From bloodthirst attrition, that's if you're fucking up. Yeah, failure in battle, that's if you're not succeeding. Blood hosts, that's kind of your whole thing. Having an army isn't really all that important, it's really your blood hosts. That's actually really helpful. You can basically YOLO a unit and then they don't get hurt. So they'll take health damage, but they won't actually die. That's similarly into the Black Orcs for Grimgore, the Immortals, where if their leadership never goes down below 50%, their entities don't die, so health damage becomes irrelevant. Obviously, that only lasts for 20 seconds, so as soon as that happens, then they're going to start dying really quickly. But you can basically YOLO a unit to absorb all of the conflict and hit them with that, so I understand that one. Collected from skull piles. I want to say that's like post-battle shit that's littered throughout the map, so that's pretty unimportant. And a unit becomes unbreakable and perfect vigor, so that basically makes somebody fighting to the absolute death and they never get tired. That's just more skulls, so that's really helpful. Gore Beast Chariots, I mean melee defense isn't terrible. Was this the bug thing that gives everybody Vanguard deployment? That's written incorrectly? Attribute Vanguard deployment for Fleshhounds of Khorne. Don't Fleshhounds of Khorne already have? I don't have any, do I?
The enemy toys with our land.
So what do I have in here? I have this minor thing right. This is pretty similar to Skaven economy. I think I've essentially looked at. I don't think I need to build that. Always looking for local armies. Well, that's nice, but doesn't really help us, right? Khorne hates magic. Doesn't have the most interesting set of fighting. This is basically your cavalry building. These blood shrines are fucking hilarious. Diplomacy with demons of chaos. I don't care about that thing. And then this must be my crappy infrastructure, right? income from buildings, so if you want to make a economic providence in adjacent regions, that appeals to me. Control. So when someone else is about to fight me, I'll get a +5 to control, +2 no specialties, and then whenever a battle fought, deteriorating at 1 point per turn. So I wonder how long that ticks upwards. So yeah, this is your control building. This is his growth. Right, he doesn't have a growth building because he grows by murdering people. Right, he has 0 growth buildings. It's just pissing at income buildings. Here, recruit rank. When an enemy lord is present, you get more money, and it causes attrition to people. Yeah, hero recruit rank. One turn. Okay. Cultists are movement speed people, right? Yeah, this should be horse guys. Of course, he's got frenzy, that makes sense. And he can summon shit, right? He summons and he gets a horse. The Chaos War Steed or whatever. This dude just happens to have a shield, because he does, like, that's their thematic thing. Shielded melee fighters. So this is your mortals building. Mortal servants, yep. Creatures. I bet these Gore Beast chariots are pretty damn strong. Fleshhounds of Corn, I know these are pretty strong by just fighting the demon of chaos. They have a bit of a deceptiveness, tankiness to it, because they have, yeah, 32 entities. Huh. 450 mass per entity? That seems like a fucking lie to me. But then again, Kislev mortals, I mean, they're just shitty ass little tier 1 infantry or tier 0 infantry. Right. Demonic Portal gives me access to bloodletters out the gate. Here's the bloodletter building. Exalted ones. I really don't know if they're all that great. Really, and Reiko Rampage. It's very high weapon strength. Still 16 entities, right? No armor, yep. Mass speed. I have good melee attack. What does Rampage do here? Maybe that's Lizardman Rampage? I want to say that there is or was a benefit in Warhammer with that. So getting those heroes pretty unattainable for quite some time. And this is your Bloodthirster. Yeah, this is your Exalted Greater. This is your Greater Demons, not Exalted but Greater. Right, and then the Soulgrinder, the Souls thing. Yeah, mechanics. Kind of surprised they didn't put like the Blood Shrine in here. I don't know if the Blood Shrine is a fantasy thing. I mean, it's a dude on a fucking motorcycle. It doesn't seem very fantasy to me.
I crave bloodshed.
How are we doing here? Slanesh Corruption. Okay. Well, that doesn't really do anything. That's just Chaos Corruption. So what's sort of my... Right, there's this Minor Nurgle faction, so there's somebody to pick on eventually. There's a Minor Ornate faction, yeah. That's Nakari's enemy. I am at war with some random ass ding-dongs. Humans, those should be pretty easy for me to kill. These guys know of my existence, so we're in a total war basically because they're immortal. I hate Nakari, makes sense. A minor faction. If I remember correctly, I kind of did just this little stuff in like the first like 3 or 4 turns. He can actually be a hard fight. And this guy hates me because prejudice. Yeah, those were Corn faction. Click on him. He doesn't hate me as much. So just war with, right? Aversion, -10, because that's my enemy or whatever. Just at war. Piecing him out and just making him pay me money is certainly a plausibility. So I think the first thing is you need to do this with Throne. Give Dad his grace, which gives us the ability to summon shit, which is good. I don't know if I get research rate. I'm gonna tout that I do. I don't think Corn gets or Skarbrand gets research rate. This is essentially how you grow and how you don't spend so much money and how you just maintain insane momentum. By 2, right?
Replenish our brutal energy.
Okay, cool. Right, global duration is down, so we can actually run and grab units. Obviously, the double cost. Global recruitment's always been double cost. Upkeep's always the same, but
Carnot's name.
let's fight some regular ass shitty chaos war. What do you have in here that I care about? Yeah, nothing, but I'm not gonna do that. Pretty sure the Bloodshine AoE heals me, so I'll probably be abusing that. The Chaos Warhounds, I don't know, I might just delete them sooner rather than later. I don't think Chaos Warhounds can really fight anything. They're good at like chasing units down and keeping them broken, so they leave the battlefield and you get your kills that way, but I don't think they're like really useful. How does this work? Is this just kills? Enemy entity killed, right. Each corpse you fucking do. And this is a melee attack boost, right? 24 plus 20 melee attack is pretty sizable. So you have the Blood Feast. Tome of Endless Bloodletting, so he gives leadership and melee attack. Healed by the amount of terror on assailable will. Okay. There's a bunch of physical and stuff like that. Okay. You guys don't have a special thing. You do though. Yeah, you guys got the sword, which... Right, more than 80 kills, they get 20% extra armor-piercing weapon damage. Okay, Skarbrand has Frenzy if his leadership doesn't crack. What is this? Oh yeah, he gets to scream around him, which will cause people to rampage around him. Yeah, so that's to keep people from running away from you. Okie dokie. I think I understand exactly what I'm doing. Or enough of. Essentially, you guys aren't all too useful. Basically, I have no use in this battle. Catching that unit's really the only dangerous thing. Playing as Skarbrand, there isn't much more to it. They just run at them and beat the shit out of them. He shouldn't have too much of an issue beating this guy up. This thing, like, this does not seem like something that belongs in fantasy. I don't know the lore that well. But really, this does not speak fantasy to me whatsoever. It's a fucking motorcycle. With a couple of bloodletters, and this dude's like some sort of a priest or something like that. He's reading from some novel. Which I don't have a problem with being here, I just I don't know if it really is supposed to be here. So we're gonna do an envelopment. How much speed do you have? Honestly, I should probably just wait and just use this, but this is kind of fun. Really? Huh. 90 to 80? Yeah, that makes sense. I think that's the case. How much damage do you have? Yeah, you have kind of a lot. Almost 700. That is a lot for a level 1 Right. And of course, he actually connects correctly, so that's sort of beautiful in its own way. I guess summoning on top of these idiots would actually be pretty advisable. So everybody here should have Gore Feast, right? Yeah. Yeah, he gets... okay. And you're still such a piece of shit, even with, like, this dude's Gore Feast. What's my range? Why don't you have Gore Feast? When you have the Tome. Oh, that's big. This isn't. Okay. I'm not gonna need a whole lot of stop fighting. Yeah. So you guys are 100%. You're 100%. You lost 2 units. You guys got a bit of healing to do. I don't really give a shit what happens to this piece of shit unit. It's not my fault you're worthless. Chaos Warhounds, man, they've never been good. Maybe if I played on like normal battle difficulty, they might be alright, but... I guess that's probably a misplay right there, letting them leave. That's probably a no-no. This should give me lots of battle loot, though. So my understanding is Skarbrand ends up being pretty fucking poor. Don't you AoE? Oh, I mean, Skarbrand does hit really hard. Move them out of the way. Just kind of like move past them, or sort of herd them, see how this whole Gore Feast thing works. I think that's going to probably make or break my campaign, is abusing Gore Feast. Is to make sure that I can kind of send Skarbrand in all willy-nilly, and still... What is your speed? 68 versus his 80? God damn, Skarbrand is quick. And he's basically a decrepit bloodthirster for anybody who doesn't know. You can see his wings don't work, because he was thrown into like some sort of third universe or some shit. I don't really understand it. It never really makes complete sense to me. Okay, so you gained Gore Feast. He only gains the totem. Right. Gore Feast is for you. Okay, so Skarbrand actually helping me kill shit doesn't do anything for you. But for you, I can get you back up to full health. Okay. That's what I thought. I knew that there was an AoE with the Blood Shrine, but I wasn't sure if it was AoE healing. Like I said, I haven't played much Skarbrand. Just because I know he's busted. Like, I watched Legend of Total War play this, and I was like, oh my god. Did they make this? Did they make Skarbrand and Coordinate a faction so overpowered just for him? Because that's totally up his alley of wacky, overpowered shit. So I guess I always need to have a couple thousand skulls in the pile. 263 bucks. I made 1,500 from killing them. 1,200 experience, which should be level 2 in, yeah, a little bit. Right, 1,000 experience for now. That doesn't seem very useful to me. Do I really need the replenishment? I mean, the money is pretty inconsequential. It's like half of my current upkeep, which Khorne armies are always, they're so expensive. What makes, I think, this faction good is almost every single one of their units punches upwards. And that determines a faction's strength. If it can punch up. If you can't punch up, you are poo-poo. You are dookie. Money and skulls, right. Recruit a couple of units. Okay, I'm content with that. Where is it? 5% chance to automatically colonize.
The drink of blood.
So there's replenishment. You shouldn't need that. That's certainly possible to help negate the cost of global recruitment. Raising settlements, that's helpful. Raiding doesn't, that's not useful. I should never need that. His casualty replenishment, which you do replenish in enemy lands, so any replenishment is good replenishment. When do you start getting your overpowered shit? Level 13. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I need to make... I don't know why you would need that. I don't think he needs to hit Nakari even harder than you already can. So let's take a think here. Because one of the ways you can kind of go crazy with this... Yeah, like that is absolutely necessary. The post-battle loot, that'll help me make money. Right. More screaming, movement range, and he gets Fanjar. So 6 points once I hit level 13. I want to bank points to just grab all of this goodies. This should just all be weapon damage, right? Yeah, melee type weapon damage, which is not terrible. Is there a certain kind of army I care about? Bloodletters, Exalted, and Blood Crushers.
God
You're a Blood
grants me
Crusher.
power.
Okay, so it's just these dudes. Your basic demonic unit. I still stand by Route Marcher. And then Blood-Soaked Champions is your humans. Chaos Warriors, which are the foot troops, and then Skull Crushers, which are the mortals riding beasts. Flesh Hounds, I don't think that's good. Gore Beast, Chariot, and Blood Shrines, it's plausible. 10 armor is not that crazy, and this should be, yeah, Bloodthirsters and Soul Grinders, Minotaurs of Khorne, and Spawn of Khorne. Oh wow, that's a little bit of everybody. This is like all of your severe, yeah. Severe demons. So that's your Bloodthirster, your Greater Demon, Minotaurs, Soul Grinders. And just for some reason the Spawn of Khorne is also put in there, but that's not an elite unit. So he gets the ability to... Oh, that's always on. Melee attack plus 4. So that is very much like the Blood Shrine's ability. Leadership, physical resistance. That appeals to me if I'm fighting mortals. Physical resistance is good. Wow. Your Bloodthirsters get into combat faster, essentially, and they get shot less, which they're very susceptible to doing because they're a huge demon. Leadership, melee attack, and spell resistance. Spell resistance usually isn't all that great. Leadership, bonus versus infantry. Soul Grinder, Skull Cannon. Weird. What? But... the hell? Huh. Bloodthirsters. So Bloodthirsters, Minotaurs of Khorne, and Spawn of Khorne make sense together. But Soul Grinders are lumped in with Skull Cannons, Blood Shrines, and Gore Beast Chariots. Sometimes these level 7 things in your red line are just funky. Like they're like this is different than this, and that's not how it's supposed to be. They're supposed to be the same. This is essentially saying take 6 of these points to unlock this, and then specialize somebody. You know, that's generally the rule of thumb. Or specialize 2, which I guess it's still possible to get Rush and Forged in Blood if you do like a super Doom stack, but I just don't know if that would even be remotely worth it whatsoever. As much as you can keep your costs down, the more armies you can have, the more death you can create, the more post-battle loot you can have, the more money you can create, the more death you can cause. It's just, yeah. I think Doom stacking absolutely goes against what you should be doing in Skarbrand. Still 35 meters, so that's something to think about. 35 meters, so it's plus 3 melee attack, essentially. Leadership should never be negated. You shouldn't be getting your troops' leadership shocked. Yeah, as long as they're not in a wavering or declining leadership state, you should never care about that. So it's certainly possible. What does this do? Well, that's a little ass backwards. Why would I want Skarbrand to be half dead? So he gets 25% extra weapon to melee damage, essentially, if he's half dead. What does this do? Cannot use if out of melee. Bellow of Endless Fury. And concentrate devastating versus how that can shake him. This is like basically shooting fire out of his mouth. So that makes sense to me. That's desirable. This, I should never have to use this. This should be a wasted point. Good. Enabled if hit points less than 50% of his base health, so he needs to be half dead. I should never have to use this. Because, this one? Yeah, he gets Gore Feast. Just in his own skill tree. So, he should never run out of health. He has no base missile resistance. Maybe, you know. Right. So what's the play here? 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. All of them together saving points. So basically what I'm thinking about is how far do I give him points to the point that I stop? Upkeep and campaign movement range. Definitely think going down the blue line is good. Shouldn't need lightning strikes. What else could I get in here? Attrition? Maybe. Skulls gained from kills? That sounds okay. So 3, 1, 4. But I mean, I could either basically go here and get nothing from his goody-good, his special skill line, or I can go halfway, stop assigning his points, and get all of this as soon as he hits level 13. And then he has a quest. Quest battle for this item will be issued at rank 10. I have no idea what his quest battle is. Right. On paper, it's just pretty basic, except for this thing, which gives him double damage, essentially. Okay. So that's that thought about. Then I can either have him come into this army, or I can go fight this, which is just a level 1 settlement, which means aspiring champions, just Chaos Warriors. A couple of basic Chaos Marauders, which these guys are really shit. These Marauders are even worse than Norscan Marauders, which actually Norscan Marauders aren't that bad because of the rage mechanic. The Horseman is a threat. But I really do want you to join. And then over here, this takes turn 3. I can have a cultist, but he won't be able to move. So Skarbrand will be down here by that time. Interesting. How many settlements do you have? 2 or 3? 3, right. You have Twisted Towers, that's your capital. These are 2 or 9. Twisted Towers is part of a new province, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Twisted Towers is one of the locations of this dude. I could ignore Nakari, because he's over here. Yeah, this is Nakari's home. Do I kill Nakari, or do I kill this dude? Who's closer to my home? I think I don't see a whole lot of reason why Skarbrand can't destroy this and blow it up, and then have these guys join it later. I really want my heroes inside Skarbrand's army sooner rather than later. Well, by no means are they required to be in my army as far as like I have to have them. They are desirable because the sooner they join me, the more damage they help me do. Oh, it's just more they get experience, really, is the thing. I mean, damage is nice, but it's really the experience. So I'm thinking, I want to say Khorne has some kind of blow shit up for magic wind stuff, so I shouldn't have to sit around inside a channeling stance. I know this is probably not optimal, but it's not too big of a deal to me. I also want the cultist to be in my army too. I need him to be getting experience, because he gives me more movement range. So can this thing hide? No. It has an encourage buff? Well, that's interesting. So if I ever get Skarbrand killed, they can still have a leadership aura. Which, if that's the case, then I've really shit the bed. Right, Khorne faction hits really hard and fast, so there's kind of no reason not to split up my forces into some way. You guys can hide, right? Yeah, hide forest. You're not that big. Well, these trees are pieces of shit. Well, this is definitely... What the F? I mean, really, the Chaos Waste, you don't really expect much. The hell can't they hide? Oh, this dude can't hide. And then that guy's not actually in the forest. So you can kind of like move your mouse over here, like see how this little area doesn't actually have a forest here. I'm trying to hide them so they can come out and like cap shit, but it's not happening, because this is your demons, right? Yeah, they have demon. These are the demon cavalry. Like, motherfucker! Son of a bitch. I don't know, man. Forests in Warhammer 3 are bizarre. They've really like skimped out on forest as a whole. And then, so basically, there's two. Do I assault from here? Honestly, this is more opened up, and it's one of these areas has the ability to make up. Skarbrand can't heal right now, so he's not like invincible. He's very actually easy to kill. What have you built? 2 things. Oh well, if that's the case, he can use most of his money with that. I basically need to jump right into his ass. So where are you guys located at? Right behind them. You shouldn't have a problem going there. Let's press N. Just go right in. And I guess I could be patient, wait around, and use my summons, but man, that's fucking boring. This guy I don't have to worry too much about. He should have probably an extra 4,000 health sitting on top of what he already has, so... Skarbrand actually isn't a good fighter yet. Well, I mean he is, but he's not leveled up. So I can just go ahead and pop these guys down. And then they basically gain support while my bloodletters... Who are you attached to? I need to take this spot before the tower gets up. Man, this is hard not to say no to this. Yeah, you really have no combat potential, you're just good at capping shit. This is sort of hilarious, just how insane you can go. What does Rampage give? Does it give a damage bonus? Maybe it's like a special form of Rampage with the Lizardman troops that I'm thinking of. And then your death doesn't really matter. Pretty, throw away a 1-2, then help me, and then forget about this. Really just taking away that, honestly, is enough. Really. I mean, I really do want to take this, but why? Why hurt their supply when I can make them easier to kill, essentially, and have them break faster? I have a feeling this probably was a bad idea for Skarbrand. Yeah, he's getting his ass beat pretty bad, actually. He's taking quite a bit of damage. While it is fun to YOLO big-ass monsters in the fray, just have them create havoc, it's not as if they can't be harmed. He doesn't quite have a Vigor Loss ability just yet. You guys are coming right through here and hitting them right in the back. These horsemen, how strong are they? I don't really know if that does a whole lot, but we're gonna use it. So what is your play? I think you actually help these pieces of shit, because these guys really can't do much. Even against a low armor target like that, which is what they're good at, because they have very little armor piercing. But let's be honest here. Yeah, I need to shut this down. I can actually get on top of this point. Kinda like that. Well, we're actually pretty close to giving up. So hopefully these guys get shot instead of him. Yeah, he's currently being missiled right now, which is not good. Good. Just kill him. Well, yeah, these guys actually all do magic attacks, so yeah, this actually would have been a even it would have actually been pretty well, I guess I would have gotten leadership, so that'd have been good. This is essentially the only thing that actually needs to post-battle fighting. So this guy but hey, I gave you an order. Yeah. So there's gonna be a lot of using this. Most fucking hilarious animation I've ever seen in my life. Fucking pops a wheelie and flips the back end into somebody. That is like such a southern redneck Dukes of Hazzard way to drive a vehicle to kill someone. Park the back tires and hit them with the ass end all in one move. It's just the silliest thing. It's just hilarious, really. So yeah, Skarbrand might need his missile resistance thing sooner rather than later, especially if I have him just run in there and get shot by towers. And that gives, yeah, like, this guy got 0 kills because he was doing 2300 damage right into Skarbrand. So, that is like a pretty obvious weakness. Most of these guys' kills are my summoned Bloodrunners. What is this? So occupying, right, that's not good. Oh. Huh. Blood Host. If I summon a Blood Host now, I essentially have to keep... How many turns do I get, actually? I know that there's a certain amount of turns your Blood Host isn't SOL and JWF. Winds of Magic, though. That's kind of what I was really hoping for, was Winds of Magic. The problem is, if I summon this now, well... If I don't summon this now, my path to the Slaneshi people... Think about this. Do I do this now, or do I do this later? But I don't really have a path to later. Because right underneath me is the minor Slanesh faction, which does need to die. Do I sack it? I think I sack it. Oh, he actually doesn't have enough movement. What do I want? Really, I think that's kind of the big deal here. That's money. These are useful. I think 3, 4, 5, really.
Grants me power.
Okay. I don't mind this. He gets a pretty decent amount of
Only the strongest may serve.
Oh.
My blood fury was unstoppable.
Huh.
A corn.
Right. So you basically get, yeah, a special. Okay. You get a special form of Encamp Stance. Because you're not killing shit, you're getting punished by Winds of Magic. This one causes you attrition, but gives you Winds of Magic. And a skull. Oh, a skull for each unit. Because you're essentially killing each other. Right. That's pretty corn.
Pause before butchery.
Maybe. These have... How much charge bonus do they have? This actually might be the play.
For chattel for corn's horde. Corn slaves are mine. Come
Well,
on.
let's do some math here. 260. So 260, 300, 400. I make 27 gold. And it costs me...
Incarnate.
So the reason why I think Chaos Furies are okay to have here is they're really helpful in the early game for beating up towers. But you're a trainer, right? You don't really have anything super special. A trainer and public order. Plus you're just good at fighting. Ability. Does this help other people? No. Effective range. Okay, it does. Effective range. A shit ton of spell resistance for 25 seconds. And a bunch of melee attack. Juggernauts, right. That's the corn horse, essentially. The special corn horse is Juggernauts. Blood Throne. Right, so that's essentially makes you a shrine. It gives you Gore Feast and the AoE bonus. This makes you tankier. This is actually makes you slower. What the fuck? Oh, it just makes you better in combat. So this gives him better 1v1 potential. This makes him tankier but slower and less damaging. Yeah, that makes you quite a bit stronger. This just makes you a buff unit, which is sort of what you're really there for, to help support troops. Hate Slash, Immortality. This is probably just all misfit damage. That's helpful against what's the word I'm looking for? Mortals. Mortals do physical damage, speed. That's very helpful. I'm assuming you can only get one of these. I would be absolutely impressed if you can get all three of them. And then a couple of agent things, which you're not. What do you got? You don't do wall hurting. You assassin, you assault, and public order training. Really, you can just kind of get all of this stuff. Maybe even 2 mounts just to have him cycle in between. Maybe you need a couple of juggernauts, maybe you don't. You should be able to get most of this stuff before he hits 40 points, I would imagine. Yeah, I think I still stand by that decision. Shouldn't he become cheaper? Right, I just 400 gold, which does help me with my purchasing.
Glory for the blood god.
Holy shit, Skarbrand is really expensive. I mean, it makes sense. He is kind of amazing. What was a new Chaos Warrior? What does that do? And so, yeah, we're building this turn. So then on the next turn I build this. That provides me a small amount of money, and it also gives me the hero recruitment that's required to get a level 3 cultist, which should give him the ability to give the bonus to movement range, and then probably like this very first damage skill or whatever the hell that is. I mean, you are a waste of 95 gold. I'm getting an upkeep reduction of 10%. Are you sure that works? Because it says he's worth 200 bucks. Or is this globally? Wait, why would an army ability be global? Upkeep. It doesn't say all. It just says upkeep. I think you blow this up next turn. And all of these dudes head down this way. I don't know what I'm going to do with the cultist. So yeah, that's pretty helpful.
Further the skull thrones.
I didn't get out for fighting without... Yeah, nothing. Okay. I don't think there's anything else left to do. And I don't think I need to do the incantation thing or whatever, like the Great Game button, to attack myself. I don't really need movement. That's what this does, right? Yeah, a little hostile army that'll hit me immediately. Which essentially gives him a battle so he can continue to move. What? Why can't you summon that? Oh, because I blew it up.
Skarbrand, slave
Well, whatever. Right. Oh, duh, I didn't think of that. And then the hero building. So that's an extra $60. Building income. Oh man, getting my building income above my base income is gonna be hard to do. Yeah, that's just +2. So it goes up to really 50. Yeah, so 50 each. This is not anymore, is it? No, it's just control and growth. Okay, so this is the only way you get growth is if you do a human thing. Corn corruption, construction, cost for infrastructure. This should be military buildings, a very tiny amount of growth, and recruitment costs. But I'm assuming that's local, in owned area, not enemy area.
The drinker of blood.
Oh, that sucks. Shitty winds of magic.
Their skull for corn.
Let's fight this manually. I don't want Skarbrand to be half health. Or those Chaos Warhounds to be put down to like 10 health. Or 10 units or whatever. Just because the auto-resolve will nuke something. It's probably going to be the Hounds. So basically I spent a bunch of nothing gaining one Bloodthirster. And then the Winds of Magic in this location did shift, which is shit. Like, that's really bad. Low Winds of Magic is no good for anybody, especially demons. Are we serious right now? Is this going to be a constant thing? I can't figure out trees. Like, are you shitting me? Whatever. I'm not wasting my time doing this. What is the most open-ended way I can attack? Right here. So you can do this. You're just gonna hang out in the back. How fast are you? 46. You're actually really slow. Yeah, Skarbrand would be way ahead of you. You're 68, 62, 38. So he's slightly faster than 95.
The drinker of blood. Throughout this land, the tide of blood. Corn commands it.
Honestly, I probably could just still do it all with the Blood Shrine and just these guys, but that's pretty boring. I wouldn't want to watch that. Like, I know I can exploit this to the fullest, but that's not entertaining. It doesn't even sound fun to me. Yeah, you guys can't really brace well, so you're just gonna get absolutely ransacked. So since they built shit in my way right here, a basic platform, I'm just gonna go around it, which sucks. I would prefer to just go into combat. I'm easy, I can just do that though. Well, if you guys are gonna... Yeah, so Skarbrand's huge mass, he's able to push his units out of the way, which is pretty helpful. Oh, that's a little better than this micro there. I think I missed their charge bonus. Oh well. No, summons, you try and look like him. Yeah, he ran away. So he has 5 more units and that entity's guaranteed dead, which means it should break. Should break, because I'll just punch this down. Don't be a coward. Distracts his building of towers, which is helpful. Alright, those guys are done. And now you guys have nowhere to run. Alright, his ability isn't there. Well, whoever he just hit, that probably dude just got absolutely trucked. He probably hit them so hard that they don't even have a soul anymore. Oh, they have like shit for melee defense, so they actually are kind of squishy. In a way. Okay, so these guys actually kind of are squishy. Because they have no melee defense. That's a pitiful amount of melee defense. Yeah, this Blood Shrine essentially has one more melee defense than a crappy ass set of Warhounds. 35, 50, 26, that's pretty low too. Well, I want to say that's like Warhammer 1 stats. I think Warhammer 2 units have quite a bit more than that. Oh, yeah. We're derping out. Oh, there's only 3 dudes left to punch. One guy there. Basically you're done, yeah. I'm not wasting another 10 seconds so you can get 4 health. And that seems to be, in my opinion, how you can play Khorne. You can play him down to the absolute insanity of it to make the most efficient moves possible. But that's just sort of a... that's not... kind of just ridiculousness. For the sake of ridiculousness, because of ridiculousness. Right. Man, so Sack Cities are actually really good for him. If we'll blow that up, we'll summon a Blood Host. So, why do you have 4 turns, right? No replenishment. This can be temporarily suppressed by fighting battles as the primary force, so reinforcement doesn't help you. Additional creation of Blood Host by a Blood Host means you suck. So your additional Blood Host that he creates is bad. And you can sedate his thirst by constantly fighting battles, and he still has this thing too. Because you have to actually pay for these troops, but they are at a very significantly reduced amount.
A tool of Khorne's wrath. Khorne's herald.
Oh, he's deactivated, and I can only do this to one person.
Influence abounds.
This is 2 turns, essentially. Okay. Because next turn I can recruit it, but on turn 4 I can join Skarbrand's army.
The wrathful Reaper.
3 turns. 2 turns. So on the movement of my cultist, Skarbrand will be around here. So do I force march and get into his face? He did a public order event.
You think me?
I'm quite a bit stronger than him, but he is in a settlement, so that is something to worry about. I'm currently losing money, so you need to be doing something, but I can only activate one of you at a time with this thing. So do I yeet you into somebody else? Probably have another army somewhere, don't you? Either here or here. Military presence +7, so he actually has a decent sized military force right there. He has nothing here. I really, really, really want my cultists inside Skarbrand's army. So...
The harbinger of doom. Leave this place.
I know this is not optimal, but I'm not really worried about it.
So many skulls for the taking.
Right. Honestly, this strategy would have made more sense over here. If I would have bang and then bang, I'm kind of shifting my thought process out here, so I'm hurting my momentum badly. So where the hell do you go? Because let's take a look at you in your movement range. You don't get a bonus, do you? No. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 turns. That's not gonna fly. 1, 2, 3. Right, that's 3 turns. You have 4 turns, I want to say. Yeah, before you start taking attrition. So on the turn you were about to take attrition, you'll get there. Or do I send you to here? Because you're much closer. It takes you 2 turns to get here. So if I didn't move this with Skarbrand, but I really want this cultist to join his army sooner rather than later because I want him to get experience, because I want to be able to summon shit. So maybe... I'm gonna go ahead and guess. Yeah. Well, let's take a think here. An event. How long does that event last? It was 1 turn, right? With the Blood Host creation? Yeah. Yeah, it was 1 turn. So that's only 15. 45, 65. I need 80, right? Okay, so 2 turns of being in this stance. And he can move around, but I cannot recruit. I don't need to recruit. If I'm throwing everybody down at this minor faction, it's only 180 gold. 3 battles, 2 turns until decay. 1, 2 decay. Force march, fight myself. Join? Under force march? Maybe? How much? Bunch of money. Huh. You know, I don't really know what I'm doing here, so I'm gonna go ahead and pick up.
Obey only me, Bloodhorde.
2 troops. Yeah, I'm gonna pick up 2 troops, send the Blood Host down there. There's a cooldown to this, isn't there? Cooldown, yeah, 15 turns, so I can't keep doing that. I did get a bit of extra income. I'm sorry, what? Okay. And then maintain control of my home providence to get a shitty shield. Right, okay. So now, what do we got here? He gets campaign movement range. That doesn't really do anything, to be honest. You're going to be inside my army. These all kind of suck. I was honestly hoping to get like aggressive or something like that as far as traits are concerned. How much corruption do we have currently? Characters of 2. Who provides... How does 2 work? Is it because of this thing? Ah. Mutilating, murdering, massacring. Okay. So corruption's not that big of a deal. It's helpful, but it's not that big of a deal. This helps if you're running around. So really, this is the most helpful thing for you to stick inside this army.
I will drive them harder.
You pick that up, and then you can hit a little harder.
Soon we will rise up.
I have no income now, so that's actually really bad.
Blood! Strip these lands.
How far can you reach?
Devotee of the Bloodfather.
You can reach right there.
The drinker of blood.
So this doesn't do anything for me, other than it gives him a false sense of movement, which means you need to be down here. Okay, so this, honestly, stagnating was probably a bad idea. So, does this cost me any money? No. It's just based off of the unholy shit. Alright, what does this do? Local settlement ways, campaign movement, participate on completion, give you some skulls. 10,000 skulls, well, that's pretty helpful. For 4 turns and a 15 turn, you gain more skulls from killing, and then you gain a crap ton of campaign movement range. Ooh. Okay, so these two can really be helpful, and you can do those together to, like, go magic gadget. Yeah, to be honest, this is okay. Alright, so this isn't really all too optimal, but, like, it works. There's a lot of 4D chess that goes on with Khorne. Oh shit, I've been gabbing away and hardly doing shit, and already an hour into this. Well, okay, this will be the start of the next battle, as I'm starting to, like, formulate and learn how to Khorne. Because he has unique campaign interaction. It's just not see target, kill it, or don't. Most factions are can I or can I not, and you really can let your ambitions and, like, so this dude is the one that has to survive here, essentially, right? Yeah. Because he's the general. This, yeah, Exalted Bloodletters special unit. These guys also want to be keeping, so I don't want them to be in the brunt of the battle. That's really these things. So this is good. I do have some teabagging units for towers, so I actually do want to keep them alive. They're very, they're very helpful for fighting towers, because you can basically constantly charge them into a tower, and I don't understand it, like, it seems bugged to me, but they do a ridiculous amount of damage to a tower. Any Fury, even like Nurgle Furies, which are probably the weakest damaging offensive Fury, is you can keep smashing them into a tower to kill it really quickly, which helps when you're playing demons and you really don't have a whole lot of ranged option. What did we get? We got a Blood Shrine too, so, and we can kind of just yeet him in there and he'll heal himself in battle. Okay, yeah, so I'm learning. Like I said, I've played this like just a very minimal amount just to sort of get a little taste of it. Like it's like taking your finger and like licking it right, and then pushing your fingers together to reduce the lickness, and putting in a bit of sugar. That's how much Khorne I've played. Just a fucking pinch. I love you guys all, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye bye.